Hey there, welcome to Two for Tuesdays, where we like to highlight a topic regarding the internet and some dangers that might be facing your children. I am then going to share some tips regarding that danger, and we like to make sure that we equip you at the end. So I'm Mo McClanahan, and I am the Director of Education and Training for Safe Surfing Foundation, where our mission is to educate and equip both adults and children when it comes to dangers online to better protect you from online predators. I am also an investigator with the Christiansburg Police Department, and I've been working internet crimes against children for the last 8 years. I started Two for Tuesdays when children were coming home from school. COVID had just started, and honestly, I was feeling overwhelmed and anxious, as I'm sure most parents were, knowing that our children were going to be online way more than we had anticipated, beyond what they were already online for school and games and all of that. So taking school to a virtual level and having them at home, where some parents were still having to go to work. And so I just felt the need to really start educating beyond what I could do from the office and use social media to be my channel to do that. So I appreciate you joining, and tonight we are going to talk about viruses. And we're checking our children's temperature every day to hopefully detect if they are to get any type of virus. And my question to you is, are you checking their devices every day? Are you checking them on the regular for any type of virus that they could be infiltrating on their devices? And a lot of times people don't know that cell phones, tablets, computers, all of that can get viruses on them. And the more screen time that they are having, the more likely they might tap on something, click on something, see an ad that has either a virus or malware attached to it, and then it's embedded into their device. And a lot of times what I think about when it comes to malware, which again is like a malicious, it's software that gets put onto your device so they can remote access from that. And with our children having Chromebooks, my mind definitely goes to the web cameras, and if they're being attacked by malware by clicking some kind of ad, if the school hasn't put on some type of like getting rid of the ad blockers, if they haven't put that on there and the children are seeing that, then they're more likely to click on it, and that might have some malware on it. And then there are ways to take over a web camera and turn it on remotely. So tonight, let's talk about what these viruses look like, how to detect if your device has some sort of virus on them. I know that I used to use Android phones. Now I'm an iPhone user, but the Androids were more likely to get some type of virus on it. And the reason being, the difference between Android and iPhones is that nobody owns the Android software. And therefore, if there was an issue with the software malfunctioning, then nobody's really responsible to create an update to correct that. Where Apple owns iPhones and they own the iOS that belongs to Apple devices, if there's an issue, they create the update and everybody gets it, and then it's corrected. So just be aware that that is the difference between an Android device and an Apple device, that it is more susceptible to viruses and malware. So let's talk about like a cell phone or a tablet and some of the things to look for when it comes to some of the signs to know if there's a virus on the device. And number one is it just moves super slow. Like there's no reason that it should be moving slow. Like you haven't uploaded a ton of photos, like there's plenty of storage on the device, but you're noticing that every time you open up an app that it's just taking longer to load, or you're in the app and it keeps booting you out of there. And so, those might be some of the signs that it's crashing or it's getting some sort of virus. Another thing is the battery draining super quick. I know with iPhones, there was a time when the older devices, as they start aging and you can't do any more updates, then it becomes a little bit more susceptible and slower and the battery will drain. But with an Android, that's not usually the case. So if all of a sudden a battery starts draining and it's not keeping a charge, just like overnight, then that might be a sign that there is a virus on it. Other things to look for are pop-ups. Maybe you're receiving a little bit more than usual, or you're seeing something that doesn't look like anything that you have searched for or that anybody would have clicked on, and you're just seeing more of that. Another sure sign is that you're getting extra charges on your bill or through like the Google Play Store, like you're seeing some charges through there. So again, those are some of the signs to look for. When it comes to your Chromebook, some of the things to look for, and it's a little bit different, is that you're going to see some different ads. You might see that it's also running a little bit slower. And then if you ever detect the web camera turning on without you accessing it, some of them have lights that you might start seeing that turn on from a distance and you're not actively using anything. Just be mindful of that. And a lot of times, especially with the kids all getting them and they're younger and younger that are receiving them, I know in our school district, kindergartners are getting the Chromebooks. And though they're not really needing them after school, they're all being assigned them. But if the parents are allowing them to do educational stuff while at home, then they still might be likely to tap on something on an ad or something like a pop-up. So some of the ways that you can block these viruses or make sure that they don't happen is, one, check your child's device on the regular. I am thinking about implementing a check for our listeners if you are interested and want to be on the list to receive a reminder to check your child's device maybe once a week, maybe twice a week. Then make sure you send us a message and we'll get you on that list. They're also, put it into your calendar. Maybe make an alarm for every Wednesday, check your child's device. And a lot of times I get parents saying, well, I already have monitoring app on there, so I should be good. And really, yes, that is a good step, but at the same time, you still want to remember that it's technology and not everything is 100%, but you checking the device also allows for the conversations to start. Ask your children on the regular, have you had new contacts? Like, what apps are you using? Who are you talking to? Are you having any issues with anybody? And, just generate that conversation. And when you're checking the device on a regular basis, then they know that conversation is going to be something to expect. And that's a good thing, to have that open dialogue when it comes to their devices, what they're doing on them, and if they're staying safe. And when they know that you're going to check on them, they know that you care, and they know that that is something to, if something is happening, they know that they can come to you. So start that this week. So have the weekly check-ins. And then also, some of the things to do is to invest in a monitoring app if you haven't already, because sometimes those monitoring apps might grab a little behind the scenes information. Like if something's being uploaded that initially the child said that they didn't upload it, then, you can detect something behind the operating system and maybe collect it through the monitoring app, and then that's being sent to you. And always, I recommend the monitoring app anyways. If your child has a device, then that's the best way to really detect something in real time. I love that parents are checking their devices. If you're already doing that, that's wonderful, but that's still on the reactive. So if something has happened, you might detect it, or it's been deleted and you'll still never have that conversation. If you have the monitoring app, it's happening in real time. You're getting that information and you can address it right away. And it's not something, even if they were to delete it, you already have that information. And so you can already address it with your child. So again, a lot of people were not aware that you can get these viruses on our portable electronics, let alone on a Chromebook, because it's not a whole lot that they can do, but you have access to the whole internet still. So just be mindful of that. Make sure you're checking devices. You can also check with your school district to see what kind of monitoring software they have on your child's device. And also if they're installing something like an ad blocker in order to kind of already be ahead of the game so the child's not tempted to click on something that would have a virus or malware in it. So I hope these tips have been helpful. Again, if this was something that you think somebody else would need to hear or it would be helpful, make sure you share it. And also comment below. Let me know if there is a specific topic that you would like for me to address next week. And if you have any questions, of course, send us a DM and somebody will definitely get back to you on that. And if you want to be part of the device check-in reminder, send us a message and we will make sure you get on that list once we get it generated and we start sending out reminders for you to check your child's device. Again, I'm Mo McClanahan, and thanks for joining us for 2 for Tuesday. Hope you have a great week.